Today, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene causing yet another stir on Capitol Hill, this time within her own caucus. The Hill is reporting as Greene has more free time on her hands after being stripped of her committee assignments. The Georgia Congresswoman is taking efforts to delay congressional business, forcing futile procedural votes to adjourn the House each day and disrupting committee hearings. And it is ticking off a growing chorus of Republican colleagues. Greene has faced certainly a mountain of controversy just 2 months into her first term in the House. And my next guest is already mounting a challenge against the Congresswoman in Georgia's 14th district. So joining me now, Holly McCormick. She has recently announced a campaign to unseat Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. And we welcome you to the broadcast. It's very good to speak with you. Let's take a look at what's going on in Washington, because we hear so much about the uproar surrounding Congresswoman Greene. What about your constituents saying, you know, we have NBC News reporters there, and you'll get really sort of a 50-50 sense of how they feel about her. What about you? Are people becoming increasingly frustrated over her cartoonish actions at times?
Yes, I believe so. Thank you, Alex, for having me on to speak with you today. That was a good phrase. That was a good description. I believe that people are seeing through her antics. I think they are probably sick of Northwest Georgia being in the news, and it's not in a good light. So we're good people here. We take care of each other, and she does not represent us. She does not represent the people that I know here, that I've known my whole life because I grew up here.
So what are the central issues in Georgia's 14th district? And do you think that Congresswoman Greene represents the beliefs and ideals of the people there? I mean, she did get elected.
Yes, ma'am. And Alex, I want to first say she ran unopposed. She hasn't had a real opponent yet. When it came time for Election Day, she was unopposed. So I believe that the people of Georgia deserve an option. And I look forward. The first thing we're going to do starting in a few weeks is our listening tour. That's where we're starting things out, because in Northwest Georgia, we have been overlooked for a long time. And so the first thing I want to do is, yes, I know how it is to live here. My kids are enrolled in schools. I work from home here. But I want to hear from them. I want to hear what issues they have that have been ignored. They're looking, there's a void in leadership, and they're looking for somebody that will stand up and do their job instead of, like you just said, trying to adjourn every day because she's got too much free time.
You know, and I just want to clarify, because she did have an opponent. So you were saying she effectively ran unopposed. She beat her Democratic opponent with 75 to 25%. So it certainly backs up the way you described it. But
I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Kevin had to leave the state because of the way that she ran, and it was just I don't know the exact day, but it was too late to put in another opponent. Too close to the election. And so because of the way that she ran her race and intimidation and to his family and his business and everything else, he had to leave the state. He didn't want to drop out. So he got 25% of that vote without being here. He was still on the ballot, and I marked him, but yeah. He was no longer running.
So do you think you can realistically flip this 14th congressional district? I mean, typically it has been Republican.
Yes, ma'am, it has been. I know we can win. I know we can win. And here's why. Like I said before, we have had an absolute void in leadership. And what we are seeing from Marjorie Taylor Greene is the opposite of how I was raised, how everyone else here was raised. And that's not who we are. So I know that it will transcend party lines and be able to do the good work that Stacey Abrams has been doing. She wasn't surprised when Georgia flipped, right? She has been doing this work for years. And so we were able to elect Ossoff and Warnock and flip. I mean, we have the stimulus that you were just talking about because of Georgia. So this is, we're looking forward to bringing this good work all the way up to Northwest Georgia. And it can be done, but we need your help. So anybody that wants to join the team, join the cause and the mission, hollyforcongress.org is where you go to join up to help. It's going to take everybody outside of Georgia, too.
Well, listen, Holly McCormick, you have an open invitation to come on back and talk about things between now and November of next year, and we will help you get your message out as well. So I thank you for your time this time. Thank you, Holly. Best of luck.
Yeah.
Meantime,